guys, welcome to the stream. It's been a few days. Normally I don't go this long without doing a stream, but I've been fighting the demons in the spirit realm. I got the worst food poisoning I ever got in my life. And so anyway, I feel better today, but it was a rough few days. Anyway, I'm back. So let's start off. I got a lot of messages about this one that the West Point has removed duty honor country from its mission statement. Well, if you guys remember, this guy here, communists will win, West Point graduate under his cap. Yeah, now it all makes sense, right? So this guy right here is Spencer Rapone. He was an Army Ranger with multiple combat deployments. He graduated from West Point. The Army later kicked him out, but here he is with a Che Guevara shirt on under his uniform, flexing his, communist pride. Here he is with a socialist shirt on, and just so happens this guy wound up becoming a professor. Yeah, professor. He got picked up. He got picked up at a Texas History Department. Hired him. So while in uniform, he advocated for communism and political violence and expressed support and sympathy for enemies of the United States. So that is who. Now, if he had been in currently, they probably would have promoted him, but that is the type of people we have. West Point graduate. That is what we have going on. And he was before his time. He was ahead of his time, because they'd have welcomed him with open arms. Now, let me show you this video right here. This is Toronto, a cop saying that you need to leave your keys at the front door coming to an American town near you.
The possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your fobs at your front door, because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. A lot of them that they're arresting have guns on them, and they're not toy guns, they're real guns. They're loaded.
That's why Galinsky says they will be installing the door stops and taking YPR.
So why leave them at the front door? Just go ahead and put them in the car. Make sure there's a full tank of gas. Leave your wallet in there to give them some spending money. This is Canada. It'll be happening here because the socialist revolution that's happening right now, they're winning, by the way. They're winning. Conservatives can't get their heads together. They're winning. It'll be coming here to your town. They'll say, just leave the stuff out there for the criminal. Matter of fact, leave your door open. Leave your door open. How they said the criminals have guns. How do they have guns? I thought guns were illegal in Canada. How the criminals got them? I don't get it. I thought banning guns meant no more gun violence. Anyway, you guys remember a few days ago, I talked about the Boeing whistleblower that suicided himself in Charleston, my state. Well, apparently a few days before, he told a family friend he was not suicidal and that he thought something was going to happen to him. That's the same thing Jeffrey Epstein said. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into the Epstein files. He had a few clinical psychiatrist evaluations prior to, and he continuously said, I am not suicidal. Even after the first suicide attempt where Epstein said that his cellmate tried to kill him, he said he was not suicidal. Anyway, check it out.
Aren't you scared? And he said, and his voice and the way he would talk, no, I ain't scared. He said, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way. He loved life too much. He loved his family too much. He loved his brothers too much to put them through what they're going through right now.
And he basically told you not to believe it.
Yeah. Michael Kennedy, thank you, my brother. So, like usual, anyone that opposes the narrative, okay, there's a few things that happen at different levels if you oppose the narrative, and it depends how much influence or how much impact you can have. They could just shadow ban you. They could deplatform you, cancel you, get you fired at your job. But at higher level, where if you could cause more damage or cause more influence amongst the populace, or to a elite level corporation or person, you're going to be incarcerated or suicided. That's how this works. I mean, look at the Clintons. Everybody, It's like 50 people that were involved with them that committed suicide. If we wanted to believe the lie, there's just some evil aura around the Clintons that everybody they know just commit suicide. I mean, come on. So anyway, we coming in 2024, I've been talking about dark days are ahead. That's the video title. Dark days are ahead because scientists are saying or warning that a solar storm could wipe out the internets and the interwebs for weeks to months. And they're projecting it to be around election time. So they're scared. Trump is winning by a freaking huge. I mean, he's trampling Joe Biden, even amongst Democrats, even amongst registered Democrat voters. I even saw a clip of a husband and wife, and the wife was like part of a Democratic Party of her local area, and she's voting for Donald Trump. I mean, that's how bad he's losing. So they're working on a lot of different things to manipulate the narrative prior to. Okay. They're losing badly. One, this open border really backfired on them. They really thought the socialists was going to be on board until they showed up in their town. See, the thing is that, and I plan to do this on a video. If I go to a liberal and I say, hey, do you believe in open borders? Oh, sure. Do you believe in taking care of people that aren't from this country? Yeah. Then if you bring up a few people and say, hey, well, give these illegals some of your money out of your purse. Oh, see, the fact is the matter. It's just like when DeSantis flew some up there to Martha's Vineyard, where they have a sign at Martha's Vineyard saying, we welcome illegal immigrants. Well, whenever the illegal immigrants came there, they weren't even there 12 hours before they bust them out. Oh, we can't handle them. Because the liberal, to their mind, and this is their detriment. I'm going to talk about this towards the end, why this is a big problem for them, because they're useful idiots, because they don't realize the same destruction will occur, come upon them as well. But George Soros, too, going along with this, has also scooped up 220 U.S. radio stations ahead of 2024 election. I mean, it's like, who really cares about radio? But the thing is they want to make sure all T's are crossed, all I's are dotted. And, this maneuver is not just about a business transaction. This is just showing you that the power plays at work behind the scenes of our media and political systems. Because Control Radio, he owns a large portion, as well as the Bilderberg Group and, the Rothschilds and all these people that, they own all of the mainstream media. Now, the problem is Hollywood as well, owned by all these type of people as well. But then you have, and we could go down that rabbit hole just for a second. You got the P. Diddy that's being uncovered, that he's pretty much he's an Epstein Island Mossad agent as well, just like Epstein, where they would get elites, people in the industry, get them on film doing illegal things and then using it against them, right? And that's a Mossad honeypot trick. But what we have is that Hollywood is losing its traction because of social media. A lot of times people spend more time watching social media or social media influencers that have more influence over them than the Hollywood elites, because they can't relate to a Hollywood guy. You can't relate to Chris Hemsworth. He's out there living another life, but you can relate to a guy that's similar to you, that's doing things that you like. And as more often, you see them more often. So how do you control that? Well, you have Meta and Facebook that pretty much controls everything that is said, right? Now, there's a few different avenues, and some influencers are very careful on what they say so they can keep in the mainstream of that social media platform. They have things like True Social, Rumble. These are not getting a lot of traction, maybe because of money, maybe because of some suppression by the big dogs that we're unaware of, right? They're spending money to control this some other way. There's something obviously happening there, though. It's just not getting the traction as mainstream. But we also have the TikTok ban. If we talk about that for a moment. Now, Trump has been always opposed to the TikTok ban, or opposed to TikTok, sorry. But now he's trying to defend TikTok. And if you look at his post here, he just had posted this a few days ago. TikTok is less of a danger to the USA than Meta Facebook, which is a true enemy of the people. They spent $500 million against me and our great Republican Party, lock boxes and all, and should never have been allowed to do that. TikTok didn't. Like crooked Joe Biden, Facebook is a great threat to democracy, and it will only get bigger and stronger if TikTok is taken out. Do them both and restrict the money allowed to spend on politics, lock boxes, and Meta Facebook. So I think Trump is right. I think he's seeing it from a personal stance, not from the big picture, though, or maybe he is. Maybe he is. I'm glad you like that Mac VSOG camo, brother. Thank you. So he may be missing some part of it, but I think a lot of it to do is that the problem is what I don't see in TikTok is that they can't control, or what I see is they can't control it. So they control Meta Facebook. They've got that completely under wraps. They've got, Instagram. You can't post anything there. X is a little bit more free, but we're going to talk about X in a little bit. And we're going to talk about X and why it may not be so free. But the problem is that if you really believe the TikTok ban bill was to protect you from the Chinese attacking America, then wouldn't you be worried about the true ways that China would be spying, such as the thousands of military-age males are tens of thousands of military-age males that has come through our border, our southern border? What about the biolabs that are popping up in pretty much all 50 states is what I've heard at this point. Now, the media will not cover it. And if you do see them cover it, they would not mention it's China unless it's a local news source. Now, what I did find is that if you found a local news source, they will say it's a Chinese lab. Mainstream media will not say that. They'll just say they found some kind of lab, blah, blah, blah. They will not say it's Chinese owned. But I've heard these are all 50 states now, from what I understand. You would have stopped them from buying up our food plants that would pretty much controls the food. They could shut it down and starve us to death. Our water treatment plants, our farmland. You would stop them from hacking our critical infrastructure, like our hospitals. You would stop them from hacking our military and government systems. You would also probably not let them fly spy balloons across the United States and only shoot them down once they've completed the mission. Just like the last spy balloon, they let go across the country without even doing anything to it. So the TikTok ban bill has nothing to do with it being owned by China. And a lot of people will say, well, China could be, getting my information, right? They're stealing my information or what have you. But do they really care about the common citizens' day-to-day information? I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to send me or put an algorithm up so I can see some anti-American government propaganda. Dude, I'll make that on my own without them even needing to tell me. The way the country's going, most Americans are unhappy with the American government, right? So it's not like it's that much of a stretch for you to do that. So it could easily also force a sale of TikTok, though, and force a sale by being purchased by someone they can control. Remember, DOJ had offices at Meta, Facebook. They had offices at Twitter, previous to X. They had offices, the FBI. They had people that worked full-time there, cultivating the narrative, deplatforming, shadow banning people. The White House would send a list of people they wanted throttled as well as kicked off the platform. So that's could ultimately be it. They force a sale of TikTok within the U.S. That way they could control the narrative because they understand how much power that is. And for the life of me, I don't know why Donald Trump did not understand that during his presidency, man. I was calling my local politicians. That's like talking to rocks, by the way. Calling a politician is like talking to a rock. You're not going to get anything from them unless you're paying them money. You're taking them out to eat, things like that. But Donald Trump should have realized then how strong the media was, the social media, because I know he put in an executive order. However, it should have been top priority to fix that, because this is the dangerous part. Most people consume social media over any other form of media. So like I said, I'm more scared about DOJ Meta having my information than China. I'm not worried about China conducting a no-knock raid at 6 a.m. with an MRAP driving through in front of my house. I'm not too worried about that. I am worried about the FBI because I might have posted something they didn't like, right? But, I think a lot of it has to do for two reasons. You have, they want to be able to control everything. And then you have Dr. Seuss, the Who's, if you know what I'm saying, that target X. And this is a few days ago, there was a meeting between the Justice Department and AOC that claimed that Elon committed election interference in 2022 by changing the algorithms on X to alter the results of the midterms that year. So really, this anti-TikTok legislation could potentially force a sale of any social media platform that interferes with an election. So they could say that X interferes with elections because they can't control X. If you notice, like I posted the other day on Instagram, they're fact checking everything, and they're hitting liberals hard. They're doing what the liberals do to conservatives, vice versa on X. So they're destroying liberals with the lies. Joe Biden gets fact checked all the time for the lies that he says. So X is very strong because if you remember, when it was Twitter, it was huge. It was huge for the political, elites, corporations. They use Twitter more than they use anything to push the political propaganda, right? So it's potential now that X is on that target as well. I think the TikTok bill is really what it is designed to do, is to get a hold of any social media that pushes, that will eventually, it'll get to the point where they push misinformation. Any new laws is never a good law, right? Think about, since the Constitution, how far we came. No new laws are good laws. Every law is taking a right away from you. Just, you need to realize that. Everybody's like, I see people go clapping and when their local representatives make some kind of law and pass a law. You don't want any laws passed. The less, the better. Okay. Before you know it, you'll be getting fed a cricket in a cage. Listen to Taylor Swift. That's how it's going to be. But now, is X good? I think X is somewhat good. However, my buddy, let me say this before I get to that. Elon Musk did graduate from the Wharton School of Business. And if you know anything about that, that's where all the spies go. Donald Trump graduated from there too, by the way, just for reference. But spies, the vast majority of the bad people, they do bad things. And Jeffrey Epstein taught a class. He was a professor at Wharton School. The Wharton School of Business, just Google it. You can go down that rabbit hole if you want to, see all the people that went to that school. Now, it's very elite, and maybe that's why Trump went there. I'm not saying that all of them are bad, but it is suspect. It is always suspect. Anybody who goes there, I kind of look at with side eye. But my buddy Cassidy Campbell, he does comedic videos and he does predator catching videos, and he posted a predator catching video on X. And it was a 37-year-old man came to meet with a 14-year-old boy. It says, it looks like you've threatened or harassed others, targeted them with content or messages that shame or disrespect them. We're talking about pedophiles. And so X is protecting pedophiles. Not only did they take his video, they suspended his account. They suspended his account for catching a predator, right? That is not a good thing. Florida Sheepdog, thanks, buddy. Might you, thank you. And yes, hit that like button, please. Tennessee Outlaw, thank you. But I think the grand scheme of what we're looking at is a socialist one-party state. It's going to be easier to segue into a new world order if we're a socialist one-party state. A lot of people, like I mentioned, about conservatives not sticking together, we're losing the battle tremendously, and if they can't get the socialist state, they're going to do whatever they can. I mean, and they're looking to do it in a few ways because they want that new world order. It could be global war, right? The socialist one-party state is one, controlling all information, making all the people believe it, making all the people believe the nonsense, and voting it in. If they can't do that, maybe it's a global war. But they're going to slide in with both avenues. That way they have It's kind of like with Trump, how they're trying to take him off the ballot, indict him, then JFK. They've got multiple things they're trying to work, and whichever one they're get the same outcome is the way this thing works. But it's like them using these social justice liberals, LGBT, as well as Black Americans to be their pawns. Because when you look at 2020, hey, George Floyd, let's vote for Democrat because Donald Trump's a racist and all white people are racist. These people are not smart enough to realize they're being used. Saul Zelensky wrote about this in The Rules of Radicals. And if you're liberal Democrat and you don't realize that you're voting this way and you're believing the propaganda, that you're actually what they call a useful idiot. You're one of the people they're using to push their agenda. The thing is that you may hate the conservative and you want that person destroyed. The problem is you're going to be in the same boat as them, right? By the time all the pieces are put on the chessboard, you're in that pawn position as well, along with the people you hate, because you put it there. Now, a lot of these people are not smart to realize that they're pawns, useful idiots. Obama wrote his thesis about it. Hillary Clinton loves Saul Zelensky. This is the playbook of the Democrats. It's the way to push socialism and ultimately communism. And the only way to get out of communism, you can vote your way into communism, but you have to shoot your way out of it. That's the only way to get out of it. Anyhow, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a comment. And we're going to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.